It is December 16th, and I'm riding my motorbike. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. As the Bengals are playing right now, it is getting down to the wire. It is either going into overtime or it's the fourth quarter. I think it's tied 24-24. It is December 16th, and I'm riding my motorbike. December 16th. You know why? Because it is 56 degrees. So I figured, you know, probably going to be the last day. Every time I make a video here late in the year, I always say this is probably going to be the last video that I can make until spring, and then we get a semi-warm day. It's been pretty much beautiful and sunny all day, but now it's starting to get, you know, where the sun's going down because it's like 4 o'clock. So I had to get out here. I kind of wanted to see the end of the Bengals game, but at the same time I wanted to try to get a ride in while it was still daylight. So here we are. Anyway, I wanted to talk about spring because spring is going to be just right around the corner, as y'all know. I think once the holiday in December and all that get here and pass, I think the hardest part of the year is that time, you know, where January, February, March, and then April we start getting the bug of springtime. I wanted to do a video since we're closing out the year. Again, thanks for all the new subscribers. I really do appreciate that. Whoever's come on board recently and just kind of discovered my channel, stick around because we're going to have a lot of stuff in store as the channel grows and continues to evolve. But with the closure of the year, we have springtime right around the corner. Springtime, you start getting the fever of, should I get a motorbike? What should I buy? What's going to be my goals? I'm going to go up here a minute. What's going to be my goals for riding? And I cover that in a lot of videos, as you know, if you've followed my channel any. But if you are thinking about maybe a motorbike in 2024, right? What kind of bike do I want to get? And I kind of went through that same dilemma and the same questions in my mind. What do I want to get if I get a bike? Because I'm 55, right? So I'm a little older than most of you. And I've had bikes when I was, 30 years ago. I had bikes when I was in my 20s. But I wanted to ride again, but I didn't really want to make a big production out of it. And I didn't plan on riding far. Just something to go around the neighborhoods, the back roads, and just kind of enjoy getting back out there on two wheels. So I started looking in the scooters, and I shared this story many times. So I'm not going to cover it all again, but if you are looking for something, and it doesn't have to be this bike. So this is a Honda ADV 150, 150cc. Now the 160's out, which is 160cc. So you get a little more horsepower, maybe a couple bumps in that. You get a little more top speed, but not much at all. But if you're looking for a bike just to kind of get out and do what I'm doing, riding around, I don't really like to go on the main roads a lot, but I do. It's not like I can't. If you watch some of my other videos on this channel, you'll understand that this bike has about a top speed of 67 miles per hour, which isn't too bad. But I don't want to, and I've ridden this on the highway. I have showed that in plenty of videos that I can ride this on the highway with no problem. The thing is, you don't have a lot of room for navigation. I mean, not navigation, but acceleration. So when you're going 67 on a 150cc motorbike like this, right, you're pretty much maxed out. You're not going to have any room to lay on the throttle and get around like a merging car or truck, semi. So that really kind of, I don't like that. I like to have a lot of power in case, like if you're in a car, sometimes you got to slam on the accelerator and get out of trouble. You don't have that on 150cc or even 160cc going top speed. full throttle, as they say. So just be leery of that. But if you do want to ride in the summer next year, which is 2024, I would really, if I were you, I would consider maybe an automatic, like a scooter they call them. This is you can call this a scooter, you can call this an automatic. Honda labels this as an adventure bike, right? An automatic adventure bike, because it's got a little more aggressive tires and a little better shocks in the back, the Showa shocks in the back, where you can take it off-road if you want to. But I don't really think many people take their bikes off-road, especially kind of in like the situation I'm in, where I live in a neighborhood kind of near the city of Cincinnati, you know, so it's a lot of people around here with traffic and stuff, and I don't really know of too many places to ride that's off-road, to be honest with you. So I just like going around the neighborhoods and the back roads, which we have plenty of those around here. Lots of subdivisions like this, and this is what makes this bike great, because I can basically just twist and go. See, this is a twist and go bike. There's no, you got a floorboard, right? You don't have any gears to shift or anything. And I did a video, a little short video the other day, that the left lever right here is the back brake, actually, and the right lever right here is the front brake. So both your brakes are like right here on the front, and it's a little weird getting used to that if you are real comfortable riding a bike and stuff, a motorcycle. If you are looking to get back out there and ride, maybe in the spring, look, this is a little pricey in America. This was about $5,000 out the door, this Honda. You know, that's not really cheap per se, what's out there. Now you can go and you can look at the used market, okay, and you could find some really nice deals on the used market. So keep that in mind too. If I would have had it to do over, and I say this all the time, I don't regret my purchase one bit, but if I did have the do-over, I would probably consider, now that I know how this bike is and its limitations, I think if I had it to do over, I would probably, honestly, look for something on the used market, which is a little bit bigger motor than this. I think like a good choice if you're considering a scooter or an automatic bike, because I'm all about simplicity. I like the twist and go feature, but I still like a bike that you can shift manually too. You know, don't get me wrong, I wish I could afford both actually, but you know, you got to make some sacrifices in life when you have other responsibilities and bills and things. But I'm happy with this, I really am. I don't have any regrets buying this Honda ADV 150. So if you did buy one, don't go, oh no, I thought you loved this thing. I do. I really like this bike. It's just so much fun. Maneuverability is like no sweat. It's light. But I think the only thing that I wish I had a little bit more, not all the time, but sometimes when I'm riding this thing, especially if I get out in the traffic and I have to get on the highway, I think a little bit more horsepower would be really beneficial. Then I could probably use this thing a lot more for like stretching out my legs a little bit, as they say, and going a little bit further routes, maybe taking a day trip or even a weekend trip and stay somewhere. I don't have any gear for that though, so I'm not really interested in overnight motorbike camping, they call it. Maybe when I retire. I just got too much stuff going on right now. It's not feasible with my lifestyle right now, and I know you got to make it happen if you want to, but I really don't have the interest in that, honestly. When you do ride this on the highway, it just kind of concerns me a little bit that I can only get to 67 with no room to accelerate anymore. Really, anything above 60, you're kind of like, that's it. You know, you creep up like 61, 62, 63 very slowly. So you know, and that's even full throttle. So just be aware of that. You got to really understand with any motorbike what your plans are with a bike. Are you going to commute with it? Are you going to ride mainly 80% on the highway every day? Those are big decisions when you buy a motorbike, any bike, okay? And see, I knew that going in because I knew the limitations of this, and I was perfectly fine with a bike only going 67 miles an hour top speed, because I am not going to hardly ever take this on a highway. Maybe once in a blue moon. And I showed that before. I've had this on the highway. I'm just not really comfortable riding on the highway with it. Not that it can't, but that's just a personal preference, nothing more. I think if I had it to do over though, I would probably look for a Bergman, you know, a Bergman maybe 300 that's just a couple years old. I mean, you're going to probably pay less for that than you would this new, or a 160 new, okay? So check the used market as the economy starts getting more and more difficult to afford everyday life. Motorbikes are becoming more and more popular in the United States because of the gas mileage. This thing gets about 100 miles per gallon. It would make a great commuter bike to save on money with gas. And look on the used market if you're interested in a bike coming up in 2024. There's a lot of choices out there, folks, a lot of choices, and I don't even know them all. I just know the Suzuki, the Bergmans are really popular, and they're more comfortable. This seat is not the most comfortable thing. I get a lot of comments about the seat, and you know, people saying it's like a park bench and stuff, and I'm like, yeah, I agree 100% with that. Because, and I told a gentleman last week in a comment, I said, you know, you gotta understand, these bikes are more designed for people in countries that use these as everyday transportation. They use them as commuters every day. They don't have vehicles like we do here. Americans usually buy something like this as just for fun, you know, and that's what I did. I bought it as not my main. I got 2 other vehicles, right? So I don't need this bike for transportation. It's just more of a fun thing to do. It's, I guess you consider, a toy. Americans love their toys, and it's not that we're super wealthy. It's just that we have to have more bigger vehicles and stuff because there's a lot of highway commuting in America, right? We can't afford just to go and ride one of these all over the place as our sole transportation, because we need to stay out of the elements and things like that. And I don't think that this would be real fun riding this in the rain and in the harsh conditions. And keep in mind, a lot of American states have 4 seasons, at least a couple seasons. Now, if you get down south, Florida or out west, Arizona, like you lucky guys and gals are, I envy you. But here in the Midwest, I live in Ohio, in the United States. If you look it up on a map, Ohio, United States, 4 seasons, which means you got spring, summer, fall, and winter for my friends over in other countries. And I know you guys follow me, and I appreciate that. We got 4 seasons, so I can't ride this all year long. Well, I can, but do I want to? Hell no. I am not going to get out there when it's anything under like 50. I'm pretty much, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm dressed for it, and this is about 56 degrees out right now, and look how I have to dress. It's still cold because you factor in that wind when you're riding, and to me, it's not fun. It doesn't make it even bearable, let alone riding in the winter. So do I want to look like the Pillsbury Doughboy riding around on a scooter all year round? You know, again, personal choice. You can do that if you really have the gear and you got heated gloves. I don't buy all that gear because I don't really have a desire to ride in the winter too much. I don't like a lot of clothing on and all that bulk and stuff, you know. I'd rather just ride in the summer when I don't have all that stuff I have to wear and extra gear, you know. So yeah, we have 4 seasons here, and it gets below freezing. The coldness does, okay? And then in the summertime, it gets super hot. It gets like over 90 degrees. So you have I like it because there's a lot of variety. So a bike like this is doable for me about 5 months out of the year. About half of the year I can ride this comfortably, okay? So again, keep that in mind. Now, if you live in a warmer climate, then a lot of this don't apply to you because you can ride this thing almost every day and it won't be a problem. And that would be very cool. I would like to do that. but I can't. There's limitations, guys. That's all I'm saying, is you have to make sacrifices sometimes. And the sacrifice that I make is just not being able to ride it all year long. It's not my main source of transportation, okay? It's really not. I use this as just a fun bike, and my commuting is done on with vehicles. So before you know it, 2024 will be here, and my goodness, just a few weeks. It's unbelievable how fast these years go by. So are you planning on getting a motorbike in the spring? Leave me a comment below. Do you already have a motorbike? Do you have an automatic? Do you have a manual? Yeah, let me know in the comments what you plan on getting. If you do want a bike like this, check out the Honda ADV 160. That's been out a couple years now, I believe. I bought this one in 2020, the crappy year for most Americans. I bought a bike because I wanted to use it for stress relief, and it does wonders for that, because you can get out here and just reduce stress and forget about life for a while and just get out here, and it takes your mind off all the negativity that, and I don't even watch the news, right? It just, there's a lot of negativity out there, especially if you get on social media, which I don't really, I have channels, but I don't use social media that much. My main thing is making videos for YouTube. I enjoy that. But if you do want to get a bike, usually you'll find some good deals like right about now, because as winter approaches, and again, it depends on what part of the country you're in, but as winter approaches, you'll find people like myself that want to maybe upgrade next year and get rid of something that, hey, they've outgrown, or they would prefer having something, you know, a little more powerful. Like if I were to sell this right now, this would be a good time to sell it. But again, I would probably wait, honestly, if I was a seller, I would wait to sell this maybe more closer to summer, like spring, because that's when everybody wants a bike. That's when they're more in demand. So you have to look at it as a seller too. But if you want to find a good deal right now, is a good time to look, because people will let it go a little cheaper because they're not in high demand right now as much in the winter months, you know. So anyway, good luck. If you do want to get a bike, you can subscribe to my channel, and I'm going to talk a lot about this bike, just, you know, the automatics, the smaller motorbikes in general. I like that kind of bike. It just fits my needs more here as I get older. I have a lot of comments from people that have had motorbikes all their lives, and they say, you know, I gave it up. I sold my Harley, I sold my Triumph, and I wanted to get into something again, but I didn't want to have the big giant complexity with it. And they buy a lot of these bikes up, and a lot of them, you know, watch my channel, and they get more of an idea what these automatic bikes do, or what they can do, and that's cool. And that's what I like to do, is just share my knowledge with this. And if it helps somebody decide on a bike, then I feel that, hey, it's worth making a video. So thank you everyone for coming aboard lately, my new subscribers and the ones that's been with me a while. I appreciate it. Got to get some more cool stuff coming in the spring, like I said, and I will. But in the winter months, it's hard to ride, so it's kind of hard to come up with content every week, as you can imagine. But stick around, I'm not going anywhere. I do have my other channel that I do work on, and more so in the winter time. Okay, but I'm not giving this channel up at all. This will be around forever, as long as I can. As long as YouTube will be around, I'll probably keep riding and making videos, you know. So thanks. And if you are new, give me a shout out. Let me know what you ride now. Let me know if you do want to ride a bike, what you're looking at, why you stop by. I get a lot of people that search for the bikes that I did reviews on over the last couple of summers, like the BMW bikes. I get people that come about the KLR, the Kawa bikes, you know, and stuff, so that's pretty cool. But this is the ADV 150. It's my mainstay bike, and it's what I enjoy riding. Maybe one day when I retire, I'll buy a second bike, and who knows what that'll be right now. I don't know yet. So thanks guys again. Merry Christmas if I don't see you. And if you do want a Christmas present, ask the wife for a bike, and maybe she'll oblige, right? Or if you're a female, ask the hubby for a bike. Okay? You guys take care, and happy holidays. And a good new year to you, and be safe, okay?